And now we're stepping up on this cosmic pyramid. It is like 9 different levels. And the first one that I mentioned here, talked about, was the one that is 5,000 years long and started 3,100 BC. And that's the one we know as history, roughly speaking. And then comes the other one that is 20 times shorter. It's the one that we know as industrialism, roughly speaking. And then in 1999, another one was activated, and that, you might say, is the Society of Information Technology and so forth that we've been experiencing more recently. And that's the cycle that influences ourselves the most at the current time. But also this one has a wave movement. It's characterized by a wave movement. And actually, you know, these wave movements in principle have the same order. They all have this going from the seed to the mature fruit. And then meaning that there are time periods in them that are more expansive, whereas there are other periods that are more contractive. And this is something that really influences the world economy. Now, the way I look upon it, our civilization is in for a huge overhaul, a huge makeover, like a complete birth of a new world. And if you accept the idea that these energies are so much shaping human culture and civilization, you might also accept the idea that there is a plan that we really didn't script ourselves for how this is going to turn out and where it's going. And I'm really very positive and enthusiastic about this birth of a new world, which would be completely different from from what it's like now. Because I think it will be a world where there is peace, where there is equality between people, where there is a sense of safety and also a sense of belonging to the spiritual universe that has created us. At the same time, I feel the path there might be quite difficult. And if you think about it, maybe humanity has not really exactly been on track on that. You know, I think it's more accurate to say that we have acted in a way that we have endangered the planet by with a kind of growth only looking to abstract values, what we may gain, so forth, and without consideration of actually creating this particular world. So with that as a background, and also I think it's with that as a background, you know, I think it's interesting to look at the kind of economic downturn that we're in now. And here I like to say that I wrote this book published in 2004 called The Mayan Calendar and the Transformation of Consciousness. And then when it comes to the world economy, I'm basically making 3 predictions. I'm saying that a global financial collapse will start when the 5th night begins, which really was 19th of November 2007. I'm also saying that the world dominance from the Western Hemisphere, essentially the US and UK, is going to come to an end as part of this process. And I'm also saying that the whole idea of looking for abstract value, in other words, whatever is on computer digits and on paper money and so forth, will come to an end. It will be, at the very least, it will be dramatically come in a completely new context, so to speak, because this new world will not be driven by the desire to accumulate this kind of abstract value. It has to be based on something which is matches the needs of the living people. Now, looking at these three predictions, I was very exact in saying when the global economic meltdown would begin. Today, economists say that this happened in December of 2007. And as you can see on this slide here, it's been going down ever since. And this is just sort of applying the knowledge about this process from seed to mature fruit, and applying the same thing happened at exactly the same point in earlier such levels of evolution. The same, for instance, that's the time when the Roman economy collapses and the rule of the god of darkness comes in 434. The Dark Ages began after the Roman Empire. That's also coming back exactly in 1932 when we have the Great Depression. That's the same energy, the same God, the Mayans would have said, that created that kind of a downfall. And it happened again here. And so that's the basis for my prediction. And it turned out to be exactly right. And it turned out to be exactly right because I also have the end date set as October 28, 2011, before the year 2012 comes. And this is absolutely necessary for anyone who wants to be able to predict the course of events in the time ahead. You have to have that end date. And if you have another end date, you will find that these people never make any predictions. They never put their theories to the test by making predictions and just projecting their ideas and to a point which is too far into the future. That's not what I want to do. And so what this means to coming back to this galactic underworld, that particular wave movement that we're in now, this means that it will, right now we're in a period of which is not as intensified,